Welcome to a world where humans, beasts, fish, fairies, and spirits all coexist. But let's be real, dragons are the real MVPs here. They're the ultimate rulers of the food chain, the kings of the skies, and the landlords of the fantasy world. Everyone else is just renting space. In a cozy little cave, a slime couple is about to make the biggest mistake of their lives, buying a house from a demon lord. He's got the charm of a used car salesman and the ethics of a telemarketer. He shows off the property's features, which are basically just rocks in a suspiciously damp corner, and watches with a creepy grin as the couple signs the contract. Meanwhile, our hero is introduced. Liddy, a red dragon who's about as intimidating as a wet noodle. He's just been disowned by his parents after failing to guard a dragon egg. How did he fail? He fell asleep. A hunter waltzed in, stole the egg, and Liddy was too scared to even chase after him. His dad called him a disgrace to dragonkind and kicked him out, tough love, dragon style. Now Liddy is out in the big, scary world, armed with nothing but his terrible stats and a dream, to find a home where he can hide from all the things that want to eat him. He remembers the story of the three little trolls who built an impenetrable fortress and thinks, hey, if they can do it, so can I. Spoiler, he can't. Liddy's grand adventure begins. And by adventure, I mean he immediately gets captured by dwarves. These greedy little guys think he's there to steal their gold, because, dragons are famous for their love of shiny things. They throw him in a cage and start celebrating like they've just won the lottery. Tearfully, Liddy explains that he just wants their help to build a house. The dwarves laugh and tell him to grow some balls, because apparently dragons are supposed to be tough. The dwarf leader offers to build him a house, in exchange for harvesting his dragon parts. Horns, tails, scales, the usual dragon DIY project. Liddy panics and tricks the dwarves into thinking someone's stealing their gold. While they're distracted, he makes a run for it. In the woods, he runs into the hunter who stole his egg. But before Liddy can even think about confronting him, the dwarves show up, and chaos ensues. Liddy uses the distraction to escape, because let's face it, running away is his superpower. After hours of running, Liddy collapses in the forest, crying like a baby, and just when he's about to give up, a group of harpies shows up. They feel sorry for the poor, pathetic dragon and offer him a place to stay in their nest. The harpy's nest is at the top of a giant tree, which is great, except Liddy can't fly. So he has to climb the tree using his claws, which is about as graceful as a walrus trying to do ballet. The harpies try to teach him how to fly, but Liddy's first attempt ends with him face-planting into the ground. The harpies laugh and Liddy sulks in embarrassment. They suggest he head to a valley inhabited by goblins who might be able to help him. So, off he goes, stumbling into yet another misadventure. That night, Liddy finds himself hanging upside down from a tree, captured by goblins who see him as a juicy dragon steak. But when he mentions the harpies, the goblins immediately release him. Why? Because they're massive simps for the harpies and don't want to disappoint them. The goblins encourage Liddy to stop being such a wimp and continue his journey. He eventually arrives at a place called Saharan, where he's offered a home. There's just one problem, it's underwater and Liddy can't swim. So he declines and is told to head east to find a great architect named Dara. After a long journey, Liddy finally meets Dara, a gray-haired elf who's also a demon lord, and a licensed real estate agent. Yes, you read that right. Dara offers Liddy 3 options: build his own home, buy an existing house, or rent. Liddy wants a cozy little cottage, but Dara warns him that a dragon living in a cottage is basically asking to be isekai'd by a hero with a sword. He explains that heroes are bloodthirsty maniacs who rob, murder, and occasionally overthrow governments for fun. Dara takes Liddy on a tour of a temple with anti-hero countermeasures, but Liddy, being as clumsy as a drunk giraffe, immediately triggers a trap and falls into a dungeon. Dara reassures him that resurrection spells are one of his specialties, which is great, because Liddy's going to need them. After a series of misadventures, including a run-in with wandering heroes, Dara takes Liddy to the Mansion of the Dead, a haunted house filled with ghosts. Liddy is terrified, but Dara insists that ghosts make great roommates because they'll never ghost you. Liddy spends a terrifying night in the mansion, encountering various ghosts, including one that looks like the kid from The Grudge. He faints multiple times, but eventually the Ghost King reveals that they were just trying to say hello. Awkward. The next day, Dara and Liddy continue their journey. They stop by the Grey Sisters, 3 old hags known for their craftsmanship. The sisters show Liddy a magical door that can transport him to different locations. However, Liddy accidentally opens a door to the Dwarven City, where the dwarves are still angry about losing their dragon. The sisters then show Liddy the Gate of the Gallant Lady, a magical door that can teleport him anywhere in the world. but if he takes too long, the gallant lady will recite an embarrassing poem Letty wrote. True to his bad luck, the gallant lady recites the poem, leaving Letty mortified. Dara suggests they build a house for Letty. They teleport to a hillside, where Dara summons gnomes and ogres to construct the house. After a week, the house is complete, but Dara warns Letty that heroes will come to attack. To protect Letty, Dara summons a group of monsters to serve as his bodyguards. Letty's reputation grows, and he is hailed as the Flame Dragon Lord. However, feeling overwhelmed, Letty decides to leave his home and seek a quieter life. Dara helps him find a secluded place in the icy plains of the North Pole, where Letty builds an igloo. Letty struggles to survive in the harsh environment, but eventually encounters a Yeti who invites him into his igloo. Letty has a bizarre dream involving naked dwarves and heroes, but he wakes up to continue his search for food. Letty then finds a stranded egg and considers cooking it, but decides against it, remembering how his own egg was stolen. As he continues his journey, the ice beneath him cracks and he is swept away by the ocean. Letty is swallowed by a massive whale and finds himself in the whale's stomach, where he meets Davy Jones. Davy shows Letty a comfortable room inside the whale, complete with amenities. Letty decides to stay for a while, but eventually leaves with Davy's help. After escaping the whale, Letty encounters a seal, which transforms into Dara. Dara reveals that the entire ordeal was a test to see if Letty could survive in the North Pole. Letty's egg hatches, revealing a bird-like creature that imprints on him, calling him Papa. Letty is reluctant to take on the role of a father, but eventually accepts it. Dara teleports them to a warmer location, where they explore communal housing options. Letty encounters various creatures, including a pair of conjoined orthos and a monster bear, but none are suitable to raise the chick. Eventually, Letty decides to keep the chick, naming it Pip. Letty and Dara continue their journey, with Letty taking on odd jobs to earn money. He works as a lumberjack and a hotel receptionist, but fails miserably. Dara suggests Letty offer proxy services, and Letty's first client is Robert, an apprentice mage, who wants Letty to pretend he summoned him. Letty's reputation as the Flame Dragon Lord grows, and he becomes a target for hunters and heroes. Despite his fears, Letty manages to protect Pip and other young creatures, earning Dara's praise. Letty is captured by humans and thrown into a dungeon, where he meets other prisoners, including an Ouroboros named Steve. Letty is forced to fight in an arena against undead skeletons, but accidentally defeats them with his tail. Letty learns that the fights are scripted to ensure the house makes a profit. Meanwhile, Pip goes on a mini-adventure, helping a leprechaun find a new home. Letty and Dara continue their journey, with Letty struggling to find a permanent home. They encounter a princess named Nell, who joins them after running away from home. Letty, Dara, and Nell face various challenges, including a confrontation with the royal army. In the end, Letty helps Nell reconcile with her father, the king, who apologizes to Letty for the misunderstanding. The king offers Letty a place in the dungeon, but Letty declines, choosing to continue his search for a home. The king gives Letty fairy dust, allowing him to fly. Nell gives Letty a fragment of a fairy stone, symbolizing their bond. As Letty takes to the skies, he reflects on his journey and vows never to harm the city that houses his princess. The story concludes with Letty flying into the horizon, ready for new adventures.